पहले रिकॉर्डिंग चल रहा था ना? Anyways, okay. So in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, "Mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunana samatidhyaitam brahma bhujaya kalpati." When one is situated in Paramatma, he goes beyond the modes. And then, after realizing this, one practices, he says in the next verse, he practices actually, technically, Bhakti Mishra Gyan. That is what he describes. Lord Vishnu describes. After one realizes Paramatma, one practices Bhakti Mishra Gyan. That is what is described in 9th verse. Yaswadharmena mam nityam nirashi shraddhayanvitaha bhajate shanakaistasya manorajan prasidati. Perspective of God, Lord Krishna continue. My dear
the Supreme Personality of God, Lord Vishnu continue. My dear King,
Mataji, your network is not okay. It is breaking.
When one is situated in his occupation, he engages in my daily service without wanting for me to do. He gradually becomes very satisfied.
Okay. So now when one is situated in this transcendental platform, when one realizes the knowledge of soul and super soul, what he does, he bhajate, he shraddhayanvitaha, faithfully bhajate, he serves whom? Me. He serves me how? Swadharmena, through his occupational duties. And what is another quality? Nirashihi, without material desires. So that is how gradually, by this knowledge, one is situated at the level of jnana. He understands the soul and super soul. He starts worshipping the Lord, not purely. His bhakti is not still yet pure because it is mixed with jnana. भक्ति मिश्र ज्ञान का लेवल है, बिकॉज ज्ञान मीन्स अंडरस्टैंड एनालाइजिंग सोल क्या है, सुपर सोल क्या है, ज्ञान चल रहा है. So gradually this person he rises. So that is the practice. So Prabhupada writes how according to varnashram, anyone who practices varnashram gradually rises. That is the result of varnashram. Varnashram acharvata purushena prapuman Vishnu aradhate pantha ananyat tattosha karanam. Varnashram is, or the purpose of varnashram is what? Vishnu aradhate. So he comes gradually to this level of Vishnu aradhan. Now he is doing bhajate. Lord Vishnu is saying bhajate. But that bhajan is not pure bhajan. That bhajan is mixed with jnana. That is bhakti mishra jnana he is performing. So Prabhupada writes about varnashram system and how anyone, anywhere, Sokarmana tamabhyarcha, he quotes this Bhagavad Gita verse, by your occupational duty, you please the Lord. So Prabhupada is basically in the purport and describing the varnashram system. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, having realized the above knowledge, one endeavors by bhakti mishra jnana. That is a practice. क्या मिलेगा practice से? What is the result of bhakti mishra jnana? भक्ति मिश्र ज्ञान से क्या मिलता है? Yes, anyone? भक्ति मिश्र ज्ञान सिंपल है बाबा, क्या मिलता है? भक्ति कैसे मिलेगा? What is, अच्छा चलो बेसिक पे जाते हैं अभी. What is the difference between ज्ञान मिश्र भक्ति और भक्ति मिश्र ज्ञान? भी बताइए पहले.
ज्ञान is बहुत higher.
भक्ति मिश्र ज्ञान मतलब विच इज प्रोमिनेंट?
Bhakti is prominent. Yeah.
ऑनलाइन पे कौन कौन सुन रहे हैं? अच्छा, ठीक है। हाँ जी, भक्ति मिश्र ज्ञान और ज्ञान मिश्र भक्ति में अंतर बताइए। अभी मेरे को जेएसडी जर्नी सेल्फ डिस्कवरी कोर्स से शुरू कर बोलिए।
भक्ति स्टार्ट करोगे।
ओके, ठीक है। तो बाकी को क्या लगता है? सेम।
ज्ञानी सत्ता।
ओके, ठीक है। सो भक्ति मिश्र ज्ञान इज बेसिकली ज्ञान योग। ज्ञान योग का दूसरा एक और नाम बोल सकते हैं भक्ति मिश्र ज्ञान, बिकॉज विदाउट भक्ति वन विल नेवर गेट सक्सेस इन ज्ञान। एंड व्हाट इज एन एग्जांपल? ये एग्जांपल नहीं बताया तो मैं क्लास आगे नहीं पढ़ाऊंगा। मैंने 10 बार बोला है, एकदम 10 नहीं 50 बार बोला रहे। If bhakti is not added in jnana, it will not give the result. Like an example is given, कोई तो बता दीजिए।
Only the jnani that has.
Thank you, thank you. वो शब्द चलो नाम भी नहीं बताया तो ट्रांसलेशन तो बताया ना। स्थूल तुषावघाती। चलिए ठीक है, इतना तो लाज बचा ली मेरी। स्थूल तुषावघाती ना। श्रेयस्तिम भक्ति मुदस्यते विभो। आप सबकी तरफ से मैं श्लोक बोल देता हूँ। श्रेयश्रुतिम भक्ति मुदस्यते विभो क्लिश्यन्ति ये केवल बोध लब्धये तेषामसौ क्लेशल एव शिष्यते नान्यद् यथा स्थूल तुषावघातिनाम। So all the endeavors of jnanis, they are waste if bhakti is not added. It is just like beating the empty husk of grain. So bhakti mishra jnana basically is jnana yoga, jnana marg. And jnana mishra bhakti means bhakti is prominent, but this devotee has some inclination for this impersonal knowledge also. तो उसको बोलते हैं ज्ञान मिश्र भक्ति। भक्ति कर रहा है वो, बट थोड़ा उसका इंक्लिनेशन ज्ञान की तरफ ज्यादा है, इम्पर्सनल, कैवल्य। ओके, सो नाउ व्हाट इज द रिजल्ट ऑफ दिस ज्ञान मार्ग? भक्ति मिश्र ज्ञान से क्या मिलता है? मतलब ज्ञान से क्या मिलता है?
विरक्ति
नहीं, विरक्ति तो मिल ही जाती है, विरक्ति तो डिवोटी को भी मिलती है। ज्ञान मार्ग का अल्टीमेट डेस्टिनेशन क्या है? इम्पर्सनल लिबरेशन ना, कैवल्य। तो वही बता रहे नेक्स्ट लोग। भक्ति तो नहीं रहेगा तो कुछ भी गाड़ी नहीं चलेगा। See, bhakti is a catalyst. If bhakti is not there, one does not get the result of karma, one does not get the result of jnana, one does not get the result of yoga. भक्ति नहीं है तो गड़बड़ हो जाए, कुछ नहीं मिलता है। कर्म में भी भक्ति लगती है। वो यज्ञार्थात् कर्मण्यत्र लोकोयम कर्म बंधना। अरे यज्ञ में भगवान को अर्पण नहीं करेगा तो उसको फल नहीं मिलेगा। योग में ध्यान किसके ऊपर हो रहा है? किसके ऊपर ध्यान हो रहा है? भगवान के ऊपर ध्यान हो रहा है, भक्ति है वो। That is meditation on the form of the Lord. वो पूरा है ना, लोटस फीट टू लोटस फेस, संचिंतयेद भगवतः चरणारविंदम से चलता रहता है वो, भक्ति है वो। So the result of this bhakti mishra jnana is kaivalya. That is what he says in the next verse. परित्यक्त गुण सम्यक दर्शनो विशदाशयः शांतम मे समवस्थानम शांति ब्रह्म कैवल्यमश्नुते।
When the heart is clean from all material contamination, the devotee's mind becomes.
When the heart is cleansed
when he
of
can see
all material
at that stage of life,
contamination, the devotee's mind becomes broader and transparent, and he can see things equally. At the stage of life, there are peace, and one is situated equally within me. Satchidanand Vigraha.
So the result of this practice is, one is parityakta gunaha, one is disassociated from the modes, parityakta gunaha. Samyak darshan means equal vision. Bhagavad Gita, which verse? Equal vision.
Yeah, Vinay.
Vidya vinay sampanne brahmane gavi astini shuni chaiva shupake cha pandita. Anywhere else? तमासत्रौ च मित्रै च तथा मानापमानयो. और वो समलोष्टाश्म कांचन किसमें आते हैं? वो भी आता है ना एक जगह भक्ति गीता में है ना.
4.12.37 में भी है.
बाप रे.
समुद्रषि शांत समुद्रषि. आज के
आपका टेस्ट एग्जाम में है. हाँ अच्छा, इसलिए मैं
इसलिए याद है.
सब याद है.
आज सवेरे पढ़ा था इसलिए याद.
ठीक है. So this person who is Jnani, who has realized Paramatma, he is Samyak Darshan. And Vishadashayaha, his mind is pure. तो अंत में क्या मिलता है उनको? Shantim, he attains peace. Samavasthanam, and Brahma Kaivalyam, he is ultimately situated in me, that is in Brahman. So Prabhupada immediately clarifies कि भाई हमको ये सब कैवल्य नहीं चाहिए भाई. ये अपना कैवल्य और उनका कैवल्य अलग अलग रहता है. The Mayavad conception of Kaivalya and that of the Vaishnava community is different. Mayavadis, they think Kaivalya means we have become God. But a Vaishnava philosopher's conception of Kaivalya is different. He understands both his position and position of the Supreme Lord. He understands that he is a servitor of the Lord. Prabhupada is giving a devotional understanding of this Kaivalya. Kaivalya means I am one in quality with the Lord, but I will serve the Lord. That is Kaivalya of a devotee. So then Lord Vishnu describes what is the eligibility for this liberation. He gives few qualities which are required for liberation. Udasinam ivadhyaksham Dravya jnana kriyatmana Utastamimam atmanam Yo vedapnoti shobhanam.
Anyone who knows that this material body made of the 5 gross elements, the sense organs, the working senses, and the mind is simply supervised by the fixed soul is eligible to be liberated from material bondage.
So who is eligible for liberation? One who understands the indifference and is fixed in the soul. He has fixed his soul to be having the quality of the Supreme Lord, but quantitatively he is different. Understands, okay, what is different, what is same, he understands. He understands that his body is made up of dravya, jnana, and kriya. So this person, he is eligible for liberation. Prabhupada writes, this verse describes how one can become liberated from material bondage. How one can become? First point, one must know that he is different from this body. That is, theoretically one should know, I am not this body. I am soul, dehi. Dehi means one who is in this body. And he should understand the body is changing, but the soul is fixed. Every moment the body is changing. Some cells in the body are dying at every moment. But the soul never changes. Soul is kutastham achalam dhruvam. You know, this is very common, kutastham. The body goes through changes because of the 3 modes. The soul never goes through any change. So therefore, Lord Krishna is recommending, Hare Baba, badal ho, kuch change hi nahi ho raha hai. Why you are getting disturbed? Don't get disturbed by the externals. What is 2.14? Matra sparshastu kaunteya, shita ushna dukha dukkada. Tam Stitikshasva, just tolerate them. That's what Prabhupada quotes here. And then Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the body is made up of gross elements and subtle elements. And body is completely different from the soul. Soul and the body, they are completely different. So this personality who sees Atma, Paramatma, he achieves liberation, and this person is only qualified. Nobody else is qualified. One who does not see that equality, does not see equally all these things, does not understand that I am not this body, I am soul, he will never get liberation. Now, Prantu Maharaj may ask, how can the jiva be free from birth and death simply by being indifferent from the body and senses? Indifferent ho jayega to ho jayega. So now in the 12th verse, Lord Vishnu, he describes how this devotee is having this equal vision. Translation. The last line is very important. How this happens. Navikriyante mai baddha saurida. Only because he is connected with me in intense friendship. Baddha saurida. Only a devotee can easily achieve this equanimity. ज्ञानी को बहुत मेहनत लगता है. Translation.
Lord Vishnu told King Puthu, my dear king, the constant change of this material world is due to the interaction of the three modes of material nature. The five elements, the senses, the demigods who control the senses, as well as the mind, which is agitated by the spirit soul, all these taken together comprise the body. Since the spirit soul is completely different from this combination of gross and subtle material elements, my devotee who is connected with me in intense friendship and affection, being completely in knowledge, is never agitated by the material happiness and despair.
Mai baddha sauridaha. That is very important. My devotee who is connected with me, intense friendship and affection. He is never agitated. So Jnani is never agitated, but it takes a long time. But a devotee, just by developing friendship and very intimate affection for the Lord, he is never affected. Guna pravahe tasmin kah shapa kah anugraha kah swarga narakah kova kim sukham dukkham evava. Chitraketu tells this when Parvati curses him. He says, oh my mother, I didn't mean it. I didn't want to insult Lord Shiva, but okay, whatever you have said, I accept it. Because everything in this world is guna pravaha. It is all happening by the flow of the modes. What is happiness, what is distress, what is benediction, what is curse, is a gunoga pravaha. So that is how this devotee, he is never affected. One of the very interesting word used for a devotee is surayaha. The third line mein. Drishtaso sampatsu vipatsu surayo. Suri. Suri means he's very brave. One is very advanced, very brave. Suraya. The same word is described in 10th canto about Vasudev. Vasudev. As the Lord appears as four-handed form in front of Devaki Vasudev, they offer prayers, and then Lord tells Vasudev, please take me to Gokul. So, there Shukdev Goswami says, Tatascha Shauri Bhagavat Prachodita Sutam Samadaya Sasutika Grihat. He says, Vasudev is Shauri, brave person. What bravery? He could not save his 6 children. He could not protect his wife properly. Why he is called as Shauri? Because a devotee never gives up. That is the braveness of a devotee. Kitna bhi problem ho, I will not give up. That is how a devotee is. He is Surayaha.
But give up what to me?
Hope.
Hope.
He never gives up hope in protection of the Lord. That is Asha Bandha. One of the qualities of surrender is, what are the six limbs of surrender? शरणागति, षड्विधा शरणागति. क्या होता है उसमें? अनुकूलस्य संकल्प, प्रतिकूलस्य वर्जनम, रक्षिष्यति इति विश्वासो. रक्षिष्यति इति विश्वासो. Krishna will always protect me. Yes, that is the hope of a devotee. कुछ भी हो, whatever happens, Krishna will save me. So that is brave. So in materialistic world, a braveness means कितने युद्ध जीते हैं, वो brave. But in spiritual world, bravery means one who refuses to accept defeat. कितने बार भी हारा लेकिन दोबारा I'll try. So that is a devotee, that is bravery.
मतलब भक्ति में उसको प्रगति नहीं होगी फिर भी लेवल लिया
बस अपिचे सुदुराचारो भजते माम अनन्यभाग साधुरेव समन्तव्य. डिवोटी बोलता है भाई जितना भी बार मैं गिरूंगा लेकिन भक्ति तो कृष्ण की करूं. That is brave. इसका मतलब ये नहीं गिरते रहना है. इसका मतलब है even if I fall down because of my conditionings, I will not give up Krishna. कृष्णा छोड़ेंगे फिर भी मैं कृष्ण को नहीं छोड़ूंगा.
कृष्ण कुछ भी करे हम नहीं छोड़ूंगा. That
is a devotee. Chakravarti Thakur writes little purport here. He says, Sansar arises from the subtle body which is different from Jiva. The cause of difference is stated. Subtle body has a swarup of sense objects, sense organs, sense devatas and intelligence. This is what our subtle body is made up of. Subtle body means what? All the subtle senses, all the mind, intelligence, ego and the sense devatas, they all comprise our subtle body. And because of this subtle body, the jiva stays in sansar. संसार में क्यों रहता है? Subtle body. मेरी इच्छाएं हैं, मेरी ये है, सब से पकड़ के रखता है वो. And if he is detached from the subtle body, he does not undergo samsar. Deha smriti nahi yaar. आगे क्या? संसार बंद कहता है. भजन है. Deha smriti is not there. That means a devotee is oblivious of his existence of subtle body and the gross body. Yeah, I am not this body, I am soul. So liberated, na? Samsara bandha kahata, he is liberated. Though he supervises the subtle body, this is not harmful for the jiva. Though he possesses subtle body, interacts with it, he does not identify with it. It has been said that one can become free of samsara by striving for it by bhakti, mishra, jnana. But by pure bhakti, even without striving for freedom from samsara, one attains that result. जो ज्ञान से मिलता है, भक्ति से अपने आप मिल जाता है. Even if one does not endeavor for liberation, a devotee is already liberated. While staying in this world, one is liberated. Which verse says this? While staying in this world, a devotee is liberated.
Iha yasya harer dasya.
Yes. Iha yasya harer dasya karmana manasa gira nikhilashyopi avasthasu jivan mukta. He is liberated while staying in this world. An example is given of a liberated soul. Just like हमने अभी कुछ पढ़ा था एग्जाम में. आज के बारे में ओके ठीक है. इसलिए सब आज वाला तो सब याद है. Just like वो नहीं डाला एग्जाम में. So that is how the coconut is detached from the shell, the pulp of the coconut. He's there. We can understand that अरे अंदर है लेकिन detached है. So that is the liberated devotee. And Chakravarti Thakur quotes this famous verse from Kapiladev. Jarayati ashu ya kosham nigirnam analoyatha. Just like fire burns the firewood slowly, the subtle body is burnt slowly. Bhakti is compared to digestive fire. हमने बहुत बार सुना नहीं, ये बताइए क्यों? मैंने एग्जाम में भी डाला।
three regions है।
हाँ, thank you.
Three regions में it digests. That means when fire is there in the belly, then it digests. Similarly, when bhakti is there, it burns out all the anarthas.
Okay, मतलब actually it digests the nutrients and destroys the waste products. So bhakti nourishes the good qualities and destroys the bad qualities. Okay, ये एक हो. Next.
दूसरा भक्ति
ऑनलाइन वाले कोई बोल नहीं रहे, कल श्लोक का ट्रांसलेशन पढ़ रहे हैं.
takes time.
हाँ, धीरे धीरे समय लगता है. After you eat, it takes time to digest. Similarly, bhakti takes time to purify. We should not expect miracles. कल सुबह सुबह भगवान के दर्शन होंगे ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. हो सकता है. It takes time. And third is,
It doesn't need anything else.
That doesn't need anything extra. If digestive fire is good, then nothing else is needed. So bhakti is sufficient to purify us completely. No karma, no jnana, no ashtanga, no other processes to be added. Okay. Now, Lord Vishnu, he continues. He says, O Prithu, you are bound to me by affection. You know, the word used by Lord is Baddha Sauridaha. So Lord says, Prithu, you are bound to me by affection. So follow my orders. You have to follow my orders. So what are the orders I should follow? So 13 to 16, Prithu, Lord is giving instructions to Prithu Maharaj. In 13th verse, he gives 4 instructions. बहुत सारे instruction देते हैं वो. 4 instructions. I'll recite the verse. समासमानोत्तम मध्यमाधमा सुखे च दुःखे च जितेन्द्रियाशय मयोत्पक्लिप्पाखिल लोक संयुतो विधत्सु वीराखिल लोक रक्षणम. Translation. Somebody please read.
My dear heroic king, please keep yourself always equipoised and treat people equally, whether they are greater than you, in the intermediate stage, or lower than you. Do not be disturbed by temporary distress or happiness. Fully control your mind and senses. In this transcendental position, try to execute your duty as king in whatever condition of life you may be posted by my arrangement, for your only duty here is to give protection to the citizens of your kingdom.
So he gives 4 instructions. First, always remain equipoised in happiness and distress. Second, treat people equally, higher, immediate, intermediate, lower, equally. Third,
do not be disturbed.
Control your mind and senses. That is third. वो equipoised में हो गया ना? Equipoised में do not be disturbed. वो equipoised का है.
Okay.
Third is fully control your mind and senses. And fourth, protect your citizens. In whatever condition I put you, protect your citizens. So these are the 4 instructions which Lord is giving here. Prabhupada writes, one has to execute the order of Lord Vishnu, whether directly from him or from his representative. So Arjun, he got the direct order of Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Here Prithu Maharaj is getting direct order of Krishna, Lord Vishnu. So the word used here is We have to stick to the principles. This is very dear word, dear verse to Prabhupada. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. This one verse transformed Prabhupada's life. Not just verse. The Chakravarti Thakur's commentary to this verse that had such a great impact on life of Prabhupada that he became completely dedicated to the instructions of his guru. The Chakravarti Thakur का purport इसका पढ़ेंगे ना, just read that. बहुत सुंदर purport है.
व्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धि का
2.41. It is like very short purport, but very wonderful purport. This purport, when Prabhupada read, Prabhupada completely dedicated his life to follow the mission, follow the instructions of his spiritual master. In that, Chakravarti Thakur writes, what is Vyavasaya Buddhi for a devotee? Whatever my Guru has said, that has to be done. That is Vyavasaya Buddhi. 2.41. Yes. Chakravarti Thakur writes, my sadhana is to serve the lotus feet of the Lord, to remember and glorify Him as instructed by my Guru. That is also my goal, sadhya. It is my life-sustaining medicine, for I cannot give up the sadhan and sadhya. This is my most desirable object, my duty, and nothing else is my duty. मेरा एक ही ड्यूटी है, गुरु ने जो बोला है उसको करना है. Nothing else is desired even in dreams. There may be happiness or sorrow. Samsara may be destroyed or may not be destroyed. There is no loss for me. Let there only be resolute intelligence fixed in pure bhakti. Bhakti मतलब जो गुरु ने बोला है वो करना ही है, कुछ भी हो. That is Vyavasaya Buddhi. Prabhupada writes there. Every man's duty is to receive orders from Krishna or his bona fide representative and take these orders and lie as life and soul without personal consideration. So Prabhupada did that. Prabhupada is having that conviction. Life and soul. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitte Te Koriya Ikyarana Karyo Mane Asha. Prabhupada writes this commentary also. Srila Chakravarti Thakur states that one should not care very much whether one is liberated or not. वही Prabhupada लिख रहा हूँ. One should not care much whether one is going to be liberated or not, but he should simply execute the direct order received from spiritual master. If one sticks to the principle of abiding by the order of the spiritual master, he will always remain in liberated position. That is what is described here. Vyavasaya Buddhi. Bhagwan ने बोला है, Guru ने बोला है, I have to do in whatever state I may be, I will do it. That is what is described. Prabhupada writes. Then next paragraph, Prabhupada writes, Prithu was ordered by Lord Vishnu to keep himself aloof from activities of bodily situation, engage in service of the Lord, and thus keep himself liberated. That is Baddha Sauridaha. God told you are Baddha Saurida, you are my dear devotee, you are attached to me, follow my orders. ये मेरा order है, 4. Okay, he continues. Now in the next verse, Lord tells why should a king protect his citizens? Because that was the 4th instruction. Protect the citizens. क्यों करना है? श्रेय प्रजापालनमेव राज्ञो यत्साम पराये सुकृतात् षष्ठम अंशम हर्तान्यथा हृत पुण्य प्रजानाम अरक्षिता करहारोघम अत्ति. Translation.
To give protection to the general mass of people who are citizens of the state is the prescribed occupational duty for a king. By acting in that way, the king in his next life shares 1/6 of the result of the pious activities of the citizens. But the king or executive head of state who simply collects taxes from citizens but doesn't give them proper protection as human beings has the results of his own pious activities taken away by the citizens, and in exchange for his not giving.
So we heard this many times. Here's the reference. The king shares 1/6 of the pious and the sinful activities of the citizens. So there is a reference. अगर आप उनकी रक्षा नहीं करोगे, they will do sin. And आपको उसका भोग मिलेगा. Therefore, protect them properly. The king shares 1/6 of the pious and 1/6 of the sinful results also. So therefore, protect them. That is your responsibility. Prabhupada writes. The question may be raised that if everyone engaged in spiritual world, in spiritual activities, to attain liberation and become indifferent to the activities of material world, then how could the things as they are going on? If things are to go on as they ought to, how can the head of the state be indifferent to such activities? तो जैसा होना है वो तो होने ही वाला है. So why I should behave? Why I should work? और सब करेंगे तो अपने आप हो जाएगा ना मुक्ति? No. The answer is the word Shreya is used. The divisions of society, the division of activities in society are arranged by the Lord, was not blindly or accidentally created as foolish people say. This Varnashram system, which is created by the Lord, it is wonderful arrangement by the Lord so that one can gradually attain liberation. And it is the responsibility of the king to make sure that every varna and ashrama is following their duties properly. Sve sve karmanya bhiratah sansiddhi labhate naraha. It will not happen automatically. It is king's responsibility to make sure that people are doing their occupational duties properly. Lord Vishnu advised Maharaj Prithu that king is not enjoined to give up his kingdom and the responsibility of protecting the citizens and go to Himalayas for liberation. No. One cannot prematurely renounce the service. One has to make sure that his praja is following all the regulative principles, doing his occupational duties properly. The executive's head should not be callous to the welfare of the general mass. So basically in these purports, Prabhupada is giving in detail the duties of a king of the state, how he should behave, how he should protect the citizens, how he should levy taxes, what should be the purpose of levying taxes, not just to enjoy, but to take care of the citizens, so all that. And then Prabhupada writes, the same principle can be applied to parents and spiritual masters as well. It is not just the responsibility of the king. Spiritual masters and parents also should take care of their children in such a way that they can come close to Krishna. Guru na sasyat, swajano na sasyat, pita na sasyat, napati sasyat. The long list is there. Namo chayedya samupetam mrityum. So ultimately, the authority should be able to bring their subordinates closer to Krishna and get them liberation. So that's what Prabhupada writes. And then, in the next verse, he says, O Prithu Maharaj, by protecting the citizens and by protecting the earth without attachment, what will happen, Two things will happen. Citizens will love you and you will see great saintly persons like Kumaras. Translation.
Lord Vishnu continued, My dear King Prithu, if you continue to protect the citizens according to the instructions of the learned Brahmana authorities as they are received by disciplic succession by hearing from master to disciple, and if you follow the religious principles laid down by them without attachment to ideas manufactured by mental concoction, then every one of your citizens will be happy and will love you, and very soon you will be able to see such already liberated personalities as the four Kumaras, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan, and San.
So this is the result of protecting the citizens, protecting the earth according to the principles, ruling them. They will love you and you will be benefited. So again, Prabhupada writes in the purport about the Varnashram system, how Prithu Maharaj, how the king should follow. King should help everyone to follow the Varnashram system. And Prabhupada writes how the Brahmanas, they should always be protected. Prabhupada gives example, Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, they have given rules and regulations for becoming pure devotees. That is the responsibility of the great sages. They should give instructions so that ultimately one can become purified. But then again, Prabhupada writes, the modern age of democracy, there is no proper government. Every day they bring out a new law because these laws are created by the mental concoctions, and because we have four defects, laws which we are creating, they also have defects, so they keep changing. So therefore, if somebody is not following the scriptures, then they will keep on changing the laws every week or every now and then. But in the previous times, there were no mistakes in ruling over the country. Everything was working perfectly because they were all following the Vedic principles. They were all following the instructions given by the sages and the saintly people. And after speaking all these wonderful things, 16th is a beautiful verse. Now Lord is telling Prithu Maharaj, ask for benedictions. Kya chahiye? Boli. Ask for benedictions. Sudhiya, sorry. So, Varam chamatkanchana manavendra. Virnishvateham gunashila yantritaha. Naham makhairvai sulabhastapobhi. Yoge navayat samachittivarti.
My dear king, I am very captivated by your elevated qualities and excellent behavior, and thus I am very favorably inclined toward you. You may therefore ask from me any benediction you like. One who does not possess elevated qualities and behavior cannot possibly. Again. Okay. Achieve my favor simply by performance of sacrifices, severe austerities, or mystic yoga. But I always remain equipoised in the heart of one who is also equipoised in all circumstances.
So now Lord is telling, O Prithu, Guna Shila Yantritaha. I am controlled by your qualities. I am controlled by your humble disposition. So these two things, they control the Lord. Vrinishvateham. I am very much captivated by your elevated qualities, Guna and Shila, your behavior. Yantritaha. I am controlled by you. I am favorably inclined towards you. Yantritaha. Therefore, Varam Chamat Kanchan. Ask for benedictions, O Manavendra, O King O Chief among the human beings, because Na Aham Makhai. One cannot achieve me by sacrifices, tapa, yoga. By sacrifices, by austerities, by mystic yoga, one cannot possess, one cannot achieve me, and one does not possess these wonderful qualities. One who does not possess these wonderful qualities, they can never achieve me by makhai, by yoga, by tapa. So these qualities are very, very crucial for pleasing the Lord. Samachittivarti, I remain equipoised in the hearts of one who is equipoised in all circumstances. So that's how he's saying, Lord is saying, you are so very dear to me. You have purchased me, you have controlled me, you have brought me here by your devotion. So the qualities, very importantly, Lord is saying, unless one develops good qualities, they cannot please the Lord. The quality of devotion and all these wonderful qualities are very, very crucial. One cannot just say, I am what I am. I don't need to develop all these wonderful qualities. मैं तो by nature ही ऐसा हूँ. मुझे तो गुस्सा नेचर ही से आता है ऐसा है. This is my nature. No. I am by nature a little harsh. Okay. यार रिकॉर्डिंग तो चल रहा है. Yeah. I don't know. I started recording last. It's already going on. So the Lord is saying, this one who does not possess all these wonderful qualities, they cannot please me. I don't become favorably disposed towards people who are not having wonderful qualities. So one thing is, devotion pleases the Lord. And if the devotee has good qualities, that attracts the Lord's more. This is very common feature in Bhagavad Gita. Twice it is mentioned, all the wonderful qualities, the 20 qualities, 20 points of knowledge, which comes in 13th chapter, Amanitvam, Adambitvam and all that. And then it comes in the 14th chapter also, all these qualities of people, I think 12th chapter also. So Prabhupada writes there that one should make sure that these qualities are developing in their character. That is must. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, the Lord openly says that by performing great sacrifices and undergoing the austerities of mystic yoga practice cannot satisfy him. So the Lord is not pleased by all the externals. He is pleased only by elevated character and behavior. But these cannot develop unless one becomes a devotee of the Lord. Yasyasti Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchana Sarvai Guణais Tatra Samasate Sura. Anyone who has unalloyed, unflinching devotional service to the Lord develops his original good qualities as a super soul. Super soul has all the good qualities. Prabhupada writes all the 26 qualities of a devotee. Chakravarti, in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is mentioned, all the 26 qualities of a devotee. Prabhupada quotes all these. Kripalu, Akrittoha, Satyasara, all that. So it is very important to understand that these 26 qualities, they come automatically, but a devotee should endeavor to imbibe these qualities. अपने आप नहीं आएगा वो. अपने आप कब आएगा? If we endeavor, then these qualities will become stable. We may become a little kind towards somebody. We may be akrita droha, we may not quarrel, and we may be equal, we may be charitable, but these qualities are not permanent in us. We have to endeavor to show these qualities. But a devotee, for him, these qualities are natural. They come automatically for a devotee. So when we endeavor to develop these qualities, then Lord will show mercy and these qualities will become permanent in our nature. So that is essential. So then, from 17 to 22nd verses, Lord Vishnu, he shows his affectionate dealings with Prithu Maharaj. Very wonderfully, Lord shows mercy. Saittam Lokaguruna Vishwaksena Vishwajit Anushashita Adesham Shirasa Jagrihe Hare. So Maharaj Prithu, he accepted all the instructions of Supreme Lord, and now what happened, that is very interesting. Sprishantam Padayo Premna, 18th verse. Vrididam Svena Karmana
Vididam Svena Karmana
Shatakratum Parishvajya Vidvesham Vissasarjaha.
As King Indra was standing by, he became ashamed of his own activities and fell down before King Prithu to touch his lotus feet. But Prithu Maharaja immediately embraced him in great ecstasy and gave up all envy against him for his having stolen the horse meant for the sacrifice.
So that is how an ideal leader deals. Without doing anything, Bichara Indra could understand. He felt so ashamed. He became ashamed of his activities. Without speaking a single word, Indra understood his mistake. Because Lord is glorifying Prithu so much. You are such a great devotee. You are so much. You are a pure devotee. ये तो ऐसे ही है, तो इसको छोड़ दो, आप कोई करो, तो ये बेचारा एकदम humble हो गया पूरा. So he fell down. Sprishantam padayo premna. With great love, he fell down at the feet of Prithu Maharaj, touched his lotus feet. And Prithu Maharaj, he was not thinking, Bayana. He was embarrassed. He was, the word used there is, Prabhupada writes, Prithu Maharaj immediately embraced him in great ecstasy and gave up all envy. He didn't allow him to touch his feet. Because Indra was not an ordinary person. Immediately he embraced him. He gave up all envy. Vidvesham Visasarja. He gave up all envy. So Prabhupada writes how there are many examples in the scriptures where a person who is an offender at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava and later becomes repentant. Any other example? Amrish Maharaj and Durvasa. Durvasa he offended, but later he became repentant. So similarly, here also. So Prabhupada writes, both Indra and Prithu Maharaj were envious and angry with each other. But since both were Vaishnavas, it was their duty to adjust the cause of their envy. Very important line. Adjust the cause. So we have to adjust the cause of envy. To give up envy is difficult, adjust the cause. So, how to adjust? Prabhupada writes, there is great need to propagate Krishna consciousness movement in the world so that even though people sometimes become angry and malicious towards one another because of their being Krishna conscious, such rivalry, competition and envy can be adjusted without difficulty. When one comes to this conclusion that Baba, whatever it may be, I have to serve Krishna, I have to please my spiritual master, I will keep my envy aside. That is adjusting the envy. Envy has not gone yet. My anarthas are still there. I am adjusting them. I am tolerating them. To give up envy is long deal. It is a lifetime project. But adjust envy. भाई ठीक है, अभी envy को साइड में रखते हैं थोड़ा. I am not purified of envy, but I'll adjust it. I'll tolerate my anartha, lust, anger, greed. I'll tolerate it. I'll tolerate my greed. Adjust the envy. So that is very important. We have to learn to do that. Adjust the envy. Bhagavan natha vishwatma prithunoparitaranah samujjehanaya bhaktya grihita charanambuja. Translation.
King Prithu apparently worshipped the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was so merciful to him. While worshipping the lotus feet of the God, Prithu Maharaj gradually increased his ecstasy in devotional service.
He became ecstatic. He manifested Ashtasattvic Vikara. He was so absorbed. His ecstasy increased. And now this is very interesting. Next is a very beautiful thing which is happening. Lord is now अभी डन हो गया ना, सब कुछ हो गया, आशीर्वाद दे दिया, बेनिडिक्शन दे दिया, दोनों का हो गया, सुलह हो गया, चलो भाई खुश. Now Lord is about to depart. अब क्या हो रहा है? प्रस्थानाभिमुखोऽप्येनम् अनुग्रह विलंबितः. He detained. Lord stayed for some more time. जाने की इच्छा नहीं हो रही. अरे इतना अच्छा डिवोटी है. Lord stayed back. He did not depart. Pashyan Padma Palashaksho na pratasthe suritsatam. He didn't depart. The Lord was about, translation, somebody.
The Lord was just about to leave, but because he was so greatly inclined towards the behavior of King Prithu, he didn't depart.
He stayed for some more time.
Seeing the behavior of Maharaj Prithu with his lotus eyes, he was detained because he is always the well-wisher of his devotee.
Surit Satam, he is the well-wisher of his devotee. So he stayed for some more time. Wait, he's such a great devotee, showing such intense emotions, all ecstatic emotions. Lord stayed back. Okay, now, next is a beautiful verse. Where gaya? Internet. सादिराजो रचितांजलि हरिम विलोकितुम नाशकदश्रुलोचनः न किंचनोवाच तबाष्प विक्लवो हृदोपगुह्यामुमधादवस्थितः. Translation.
The original king, Maharaja Prithu, his eyes full of tears and his voice faltering and choked up, could neither see the Lord very distinctly nor speak to address the Lord in any way. He simply embraced the Lord within his heart and remained standing in that way with folded hands.
Wonderful ecstatic symptoms of Prithu Maharaj is displayed here. Adi Raja, his original king, Rachita Anjali, with folded hand, he is standing. Na akshaknod, na shakat. He could not even see. His eyes are full of tears. It's like Garudji. Most famous has story. Garudji is finding Lord, and Daruka is finding the Lord, and he is having tears and he is condemning with these ecstatic symptoms. They may go away. I am not able to see the Lord. So the same is happening here. His eyes are full of tears. He is not able to see. He is not able to speak. Na kinchana uvacha. कुछ बोल नहीं पा रहे हैं, कुछ देख नहीं पा रहे हैं. He just stood there, embracing the Lord. Rizopaguhyam. So that is the wonderful ecstatic symptoms. Prabhupada writes. He was Adi Raja. He was a great devotee and at the same time a great hero who conquered over all undesirable elements. He gave protection to the citizens. He collected taxes, not just to enjoy, but to protect the citizens. Then Prabhupada writes, the greatest calamity in life is to become godless and therefore sinful. And if the king allows the citizens to indulge in all these four sinful activities, then the king is responsible for the suffering of the citizens. Prithu Maharaj was himself such a great devotee, so therefore he could raise the level of his citizens to his level. Then Prabhupada writes, just today we have seen in the newspapers of Bombay that the government is going to repeal its prohibition laws. Prohibition laws means drinking.
Liquor.
Ever since Gandhi's non-cooperation movement, Bombay has been kept dry and has not allowed his citizens to drink. But unfortunately, the citizens are so clever that they have increased illicit distillation of liquors. And although not being sold publicly, liquor is sold in private lavatories. Public lavatories. Unable to check such illicit smuggling, government has decided to manufacture liquor at cheaper prices. So that's how government has failed to change the heart of citizens. So that is how the government has degraded. And then wars are there and everything is getting destroyed. Prabhupada writes about this. Prabhupada is such a wonderful acharya. You will not find such social commentary in Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentaries and all those. वो केवल प्रभुपाद ही लिखे हैं, ऐसा social commentary लिखे हैं in his purports. Otherwise, if you see Chakravarti Thakur and Baladev Vidyabhushan, they were in the peak of Mughal emperor, rule. They never mentioned even a single thing about क्या हो रहा है society. Completely focused on pure devotion. But Prabhupada has given such social commentary also. He has given lessons how this is applicable, how the world situation is getting corrupted. So that is the glory of Srila Prabhupada. 22 is beautiful. We'll end here. In this verse, the Lord takes support of Garuda. अथावमृज्याश्रुलोकलाविलोकयन् अतृप्तदृग्गोचरमाह पूरुषम् पदास्पृशन्तं क्षितिमंश उन्नते विन्यस्तहस्ताग्रमुरङ्गविद्विषः. Translation.
The Supreme Personality of God stood with his lotus feet almost touching the ground, while he rested the front of his hand on the raised shoulder of Garuda, the enemy of the snakes. Maharaja Prithu, wiping the tears from his eyes, tried to look upon the Lord, but it appeared that the king was not fully satisfied by looking at him. Thus the king offered the following prayers.
So generally, the Lord doesn't touch the ground. He stays above the ground. But now he's so overwhelmed by the devotion, he could not maintain himself. He touched the ground and then he's taking support of Garuda also. Excessive. So that is how Lord is so much overwhelmed. Okay, then Prithu Maharaj, he somehow wiping his tears, he saw the Lord and he will now offer prayers to the Lord. That we'll discuss next time. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai.